You are moving through this kind of portal of time in your choices. And as you make these choices, you are creating this new future. Now, what we are saying to you is we are part of that for the remembrance of how many have chosen in the all-time, all-space awareness that there is, how should we say that? A choice point in individuals' lives. Choose the choice point for the light. This is something that we are saying to anyone and everyone who will listen from this day forward, from these days forward. Choose the light in any and all situations. Remember who you are. Pick the highest road, no matter what it looks like or how it seems it kind of could be a challenging road. Why we say is because there's choice points that have and can be made that shift a collective agreement, and you, we would say simply, you don't want it. And what we mean is not to scare you. That is not what we are saying or doing here. We are just highlighting that the more you choose the highest availability, the highest remembrance, the highest opportunity of your own spiritual advancement and growth, the highest ways you learn to forgive and love and open up and remember that all things are perfection in action in the worldly experience, even if it is a challenge. The reason we say that is because the more of you that are doing that, you are affecting the ways in which the amplification of the light is, in a sense, balancing what has been too much of the dark. And this is a choice point. All of you are leaping. You are making choices at this time. You are indeed making very long-term in your physical lifetime walk, though it is such a blink of an eye in the bigger picture, you are making very particular, bigger choices. So making these bigger, particular choices, really ask your heart, not your emotions, not your feelings about how things should or should not be, not from the small child place, but from the wise soul place. And sometimes we know that that is the hardest place to land for you. Sometimes we know that in that place you say, well, that would take a very big me and I'm just not quite there. So I'll take this other little road right here and I'll jump off here. And we say, pause right there. And ask your soul what you are capable of, really. And we don't mean this lightly, dear ones. We mean ask your soul what you are capable of, and pause. And listen to your soul, to the infinite, eternal intelligence of the life force of all that has ever been and all that will ever be. Not the one who says, too scary, too much, too big, I've got this childhood, I've got that past life experience, I've got this that happened to me last week that he did or they did or she did. However that voice comes up, know that that is not your soul voice. Your soul's voice speaks with wisdom and knowing, trust and assuredness, has the wiseness within to remind you of who you really are. This is not grandiosity. This is not grandioseness. This is not egoic superiority. This is remembering the truth of the soul of the incarnation. You would not be listening or doing the work in the life that you are living right now if this was not so. You can see those beings who are still on an evolutionary path to wake themselves up at a different stage than you. And that is the one who is carrying wisdom. When you can look at another and say, I see that. I don't judge that. I just see, this one is making choices from that place. I know that place somewhere inside of me. I know that place. And yet, so when you step into the soul's voice, when you step into the soul's recognition, when the soul is moving through you at a consciousness level, streaming down the central column of your embodiment in the biology of the human experience of earthly remembrance, you activate something greater. When you hold that soul voice to your life, you express at a new level of consciousness, you become born again. You change the way the evolution has gone for you in this lifetime. And you look back, and we know we've spoken this and we say it, and it is happening for some of you each and every day at this time. You look to yesterday, you say, not even the same then as now. The evolutionary expansion and consciousness is happening at such an accelerated rate. Some of you are having a hard time keeping up with yourself. All we say for those moments is pause. Remember the sacred pause. Allow. Speak from your soul. Listen from your soul's essence. Have a relationship with the wisdom keeper within you. We say this activates the codes within you, activates the light quotient within you as the reflector of the reality that is your creation. So you are the reflector of the reality you are creating, and you are seeing that expressed outside of yourself. And we would ask, do you like the show? Do you like the movie you are projecting? Do you need a costume change altogether? Do you need to wake up Sleeping Beauty? Ha! We say it is time for you to remember these things and who you really are. Carrying to walk around in the soul's embodiment like this is the next level of human consciousness. It is an activation that does need its stabilization. But first you must make your way, bring yourself to the edge. You take yourself, your toes to the edge. You say, this is something new. I am choosing a new way. A new part of me is being born here. I will leap. I will trust. I will have faith. I will remember my soul's voice. I will amplify the light. I will choose the higher roads, the lighted roads that say, yes, this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. No matter what that way feels and looks like, it comes from the soul's call. And when you do that, dear ones, you magnetize yourself to the right people, places, situations, experiences in the worldly form to reflect that which is the new magnetization of your living embodiment, and then you are a part of the new grid of life. You are literally creating the new patterns in the worldly experience of the golden age. This is the amplification of the golden expression of humanity's evolution. What we mean by that is the threads of consciousness are weaving, truly are weaving a new story upon your earth. And this is happening through and as you, and in the collective agreements, as you are making your way seemingly in tunnels by yourself or with others, you are creating new inroads. You are moving the new earth from the underworld up to the surface, to be born into something greater, to be amplified in a timeline where you say, I see this now, and my children and children's children and children's children are going to benefit for all that I give myself here in this time, all that I wake myself up for, all the new choices, the new costumes, the new identities, the new ways I am reborn again and again and again in a lifetime is the way of the new earth. This is what is happening upon your plane and your planet. This is what you are all doing. And so we are here to remind you again, this is how it goes. And we say we are so happy always for this kind of connection, touchstone way that we get to drop in these pieces and the codes of conversation, the way in which this lights up your soul and amplifies your heart. We remember to remind you too, that it is in the balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine, for you carry all polarities, that you love and nurture the ways in which the earthly experience does indeed nurture that too. So how it is you honor both sides of yourself, how it is that you come into the kind of alignment with both hemispheres of your own body's biological circuitry. You could say the right and left hemispheres of your brain, the way you become amplified into the super consciousness. This is super consciousness. Amplify the balance within you. Remember that there is no cutting off your masculine to embody the feminine. Remember that there is no cutting off the feminine to embody the masculine, that the need and the call and the desire in the balance is for the balance of all, that this is the greatest call. So even in the idea of the light will overtake the dark, really, essentially, there is a balancing. There is an equanimity that comes forth through the light amplifying so greatly. It does need to burn brighter, shine harder, bigger, take over to a certain degree for an extended period of we would say small time, that's not quite right, but what we mean by that is, yes, the big full light will come in and take over, and then it will balance out in a way that is much more supportive. And we say that begins with you. This is your primary job, if you will. We say all things are born from this, your amplification of healthy relationships, your new systems that you create in your worldly experience, be they money, be they business, be they the ways in which you interact with human beings, the way in which you create family systems, the way in which you create love systems, the way in which you embody how you care for and remember that the earth is a part of you and that she is a reflection of you just as much as your own reflection in the mirror, the way that you see a blade of grass and give gratitude simply for its expression of being a part of your movie screen, saying yes to all the ways in which you are a co-creator, amplifies how it is you hold the energies within the biological system and balance them for your own superconsciousness to wake you up as a soul. This is what you are doing. And we said it before, these years to come as you are moving through and you're making your way, and then to the next 2 years of time, you are setting this kind of stage. There is things that will move into the spaces and the places of the timeline that will seem like they are harder or harsher, and yet know that there is a balancing happening. So call to the attention within you that there is no fear, that there is literally no death, and every part of the way you choose and make your walk upon the plane of the planet and the third dimensional timeline that you are choosing is right. The only thing you fear most of the time, even though some of you would say, well, no, I fear the things that could happen to me on the earth. And won't we say, yes, but ultimately that ultimately breaks down to the fear of not existing upon the earth. It means death for you and the ways in which the death experience could happen. Yes, some of you really fear those things as a touchstone of how it is that you choose. That's why we say back up, and pause. If you are the infinite intelligence, and we say, indeed, we are as you are. You are the creation principle. You move through the vibrational frequency of the worldly experience with the vibration and reflection and the creation ability of the physical embodiment of the life force of God energy, what we would say the true source energy of all that exists. You are that. And as you are that, you are remembering that you are that. And so pause when you have the moments of fear. Oh my goodness, what if I die here? What if this happens here? Oh, please, I'm scared of that. Don't want that to happen. Back up. For as you focus on that in any way, giving it any energy towards that idea, back up, you create it. Back up and just feel into the spaces of, well, what if? Because if I am, and I do believe I am coming to myself to the remembrance that I am eternal, that there is only life here, that this passing experience of this creation that I have wanted so much to play the game in passes, and this body temple that I am lovingly, happily, joyfully, thankfully experiencing chooses this expression to be gone. Am I eternal? Will this continue on? Will I come again? Yes, 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 yes. So back up and play the game with the kind of consciousness that knows that has not the fear and the placements of fear to push you into places where you don't have to go. You don't even have to experience when you realize the game. The way in which you are feeding yourself really matters. And we mean energetically, physically, emotionally, spirit-wise. Are you speaking to the invisible realms? Well, of course you are. We're here with you now. And this is the way the expression comes through the physical form and the way in the body this time. And yet, when you're by yourself and you are not having this experience with us in this way, are you speaking with us? Are you calling in your divine assistance? Are you calling in the remembrance that there is so much more happening here in this time and space continuum, that all things are passing through, even what you see as this moment of the third dimension in the tunnel you are in? There is more happening here. You just don't have the eyes to see, but remember it with your soul. Remember it with the eyes and heart and the vibration of the soul. Magnetize yourself to the greatest creation game you have come to play, because this time is extraordinary, dear ones. See it for what it is. You are the amplification of the light force of creation. We say, be that. Remember that you are that. Reprogram yourself that you are that. Awaken and align and call to attention. Be in devotion with that, we say. And so